Welcome, everyone. Let's get started with some activations. So shaking out those hands, nice simple ones today. Just really moving into the wrists as well as those fingers. Just loosening them up so that you get a really, or maybe you'll feel a bit of pain, or maybe you'll feel all right, who knows? And then let's open those elbows and close. So just opening and closing the arms, and maybe push back a little and then bend and take it back as far as you can and bring it forwards and up and straighten and backwards and lift and straighten and back and lift. And one more time, back and lift. And then just go into some shoulder circles. That's just moving around and so We've got shoulders and soldiers mixed up, and the other way. Let's go the other way. Just feel into those shoulders as you do this from all the sitting or desk working. It's quite a good way of relieving some of that tension and release it down. And just shake the whole length of the arm and the shoulders a few times down to the ground. Okay, so if you need something to hold on to, just take hold of the wall or a chair, or balance with your hands on your hips, shaking into that ragdoll foot. So nice and loose. It's just wobbling at the ankle joint. Take your leg out to the side and let it wobble all the way up the leg into the hip joint, into the thigh muscle, into the buttock muscle. Okay, and shake it out, and then just bring it back in. And let's bend that knee. So bend it, so you bring your heel to, and then you straighten and lift. And bend, and take the knee back if you can, and then straighten and lift. And bend the knee, taking knee backwards if you can, straighten and lift. One more time, backwards, heel towards the buttocks, and then straighten and release. Excellent. Let's go to the other side. So shaking into that foot, nice ragdoll foot, loosening up the ankle joint and all the joints in the toes. So loosening it up, taking it out to the side and shaking, trying to wobble the whole of that leg from the foot all the way up into the thigh muscle, into the gluteal muscle. So see if you can feel the wobble along the whole leg. And then pause and bend that leg, bend the heel to the ankle, and then straighten and lift. Heel to buttocks, knee back if you can, straighten and lift. Heel to buttocks, knee back, straighten and lift. And again. And straighten. And again. Straighten last time. Heel to buttocks, straighten and release. Let's do a whole body shake, head to toes. Get those hips going, get those shoulders going, and take a wider stance and just shake your head for a few moments, and then let the body start tilting forward, shaking all the way down into forward bend. Keep the knees soft, just shake away, shake away. And then pause, and you're going to uncurl. Palms of the hands facing the body, rising up the front of the body and stretching all the way to the top, and then pull the elbows down and backwards behind you and release them. Okay, good. We're going to bend the knees, turn the toes to the diagonal, and bend your knees so that you're coming down into your wide squat. Knees are pushing back. And then you're going to lift onto one set of toes, and then lower the heel, lift onto the other set of toes and lower the heel. And then in breath, you lift, out breath, you open. Lift onto one set of toes and lower the heel. Lift the heel on the other side and lower the heel. And then in breath, lift, circle, and touch the hands together above the head as you squat. Lift onto the toes and lower. Lift onto the toes and lower. In breath, lift, circle the arms, straight legs, and as they open, squat. Lift onto toes, lower. Lift onto toes, lower. Lift the arms, straighten the legs, circle those arms around, bring the hands together, and squat. Now let's see if we can come onto both toes at the same time, lifting both heels off the floor, and then lowering, lifting up, and circling round, exhaling into the squat. One more double lift if you can. Otherwise, single lift, holding, lowering, in breath, circle, and bring the hands together, walk those feet closer, and come back to center, releasing those arms. Moving into a twist, so allowing the body to flow around to either side, heel rising off the floor, and just enjoying the space around you. Taking a hand to the opposite shoulder. Noticing the space around the shoulder blades and the front of the chest. And then arms reach somewhere above the head, wherever's good for your shoulders, your health conditions. And then just noticing here the tops of the shoulders and the neck. Perhaps the collarbones. And then stretch the arms straight up for a moment. And then put the hands onto the shoulders, continuing our descent down the spine. And then hands on the hips as you continue that rotation. And then release the arms once more, slowing it down. Coming to a stop. Take a firm stance with the feet. You're going to circle the arms in front, drawing in the core, relaxing shoulders. Breathing in. You're going to exhale over to the side, and you're going to pause there. Feel one side of the body stretching and the other side crunching. And then you're going to bend the knees and fold forwards down to the floor. Make a half circle with the arms and then travel across the body up the other side, coming back into standing, and you should have your arms the opposite way around to what you started. So breathe in, lengthen spine, relax the shoulders. Exhale to the side, feel that side stretching, and then fold forwards, bend the knees, go halfway around with the arms and up the other side. Coming back into standing, arms facing, upper arm facing the opposite way. Breathing in, lengthen spine, draw in the core, and exhale to the side. Feel that lovely stretch, and then bend the knees. Fold down to the floor, circle the arms halfway around to the other side, coming up into upright. Breathing in once more, soften the shoulders, draw in the core. Exhale to the side. Feel that beautiful side stretch, and then bend. Flow down, half circle with the arms, and then lifting up the other side, back into standing, releasing that upper arm, and just scanning your body, noticing how it feels. Excellent. Drinks all round. So we're going to move into EVR1. So you're going to stand with those feet hip width apart. Make sure those second toes are pointing forwards. Actually, let's start with this position. I'd like you to rotate those big toes towards each other so that the tip of the toes are touching and you've got a 90-degree angle between your big toes. Okay, mind you balance well. Okay, once you've got that position of the feet, you're going to push the knees back. So straighten the legs, draw in your core, perhaps squeeze into your buttock muscles, and draw the arms up, interlace the fingers and bring them behind the head. So we have a tendency to then start looking down to the floor. So I'd like you to push the chin backwards, straightening the back of the neck, but not lifting the chin. You're just keeping it level with the floor. And the elbows pull backwards, so they go towards the back of the room. And in this position, you should really feel the soles of your feet. So when I talk about anchoring through the ball of the foot, the side of the foot, and the heel, in this position, you can absolutely feel that. Everybody in agreement? Yeah? Good. So you can really feel that. So if you have any twinges in your back, I'd like you to pull in the core strongly and squeeze into your buttock muscles, and as well as pull and engage your thigh muscles whilst pushing the knees backwards. And you can still feel the whole of the foot there. This is an excellent stance for readjusting your posture. So if you want to come into alignment, although it feels totally out of alignment. So releasing those hands to your sides, look down at your feet and just move your toes almost to parallel, but still slightly inwards, okay? And now anchor down through those feet. So I'd like you to feel the ball of the foot, the side of the foot, and the whole heel on the floor. Can you feel that more clearly? Yeah? Good. Okay. So anchor through those legs, draw up your thigh muscles and engage the core, lengthen the spine, back of the neck. We're going to do some balanced breathing. So I'd like you to let your eyes close if that's possible, or turn the gaze towards the floor. And you're just going to focus on your breathing for a few breaths. So not trying to manipulate it in any way, just an observation of your breath flowing in and out of the body. And then when you next exhale, let the awareness travel down into the earth. And when you inhale, awareness travels from the earth up through the lower body and the trunk into the heart. And then the exhalation takes awareness out through the neck and the head into the sky. Breathing in, that awareness travels back down through the head into the chest. And the exhalation sends the awareness down through the legs into the earth. And repeat that imagery and breathing rhythm a few more times. When you next breathe in, as well as following that awareness up into the chest, try to feel as though the entire chest cavity, back, front, and sides, is expanding on that in-breath. So for each in-breath, whether you're drawing it from the earth or from the sky, imagine that chest cavity expanding evenly to all sides. And completing this breathing with an out breath back down into the earth. And notice your feet as they connect with your mat. So keeping the body upright now, opening the eyes. I'm just going to turn a little bit so you can see me to the side. We're going to rock slowly onto the toes, keeping the heels on the floor, and then backwards onto the heels, keeping the toes on the floor. So it's a slight rocking motion, forwards towards the toes and backwards towards the heels. And do that once more, traveling towards the toes and backwards onto the heels. And then come to center and find that central position of the feet. So stay where you are. I'm just turning again. And we're going to move in a circle now. So circling over to one set of toes, across the side of the foot, the heel, moving across to the other heel, side of foot, toes. And do that twice more, feeling into the outer edges of the feet. The core is lightly engaged. And imagine or sense or feel all the pressure points in those edges of feet being awakened, coming back to center. So then we reverse that movement, go over to the other toes, side of foot, heel, cross to the other heel, side, toes, and twice more in that circle. Noticing how the change of direction impacts on the feet and the different pressures in one direction compared to the other. Once you've completed the third circle, come back to the center. Ready? Excellent. We're going to draw the arms in a circle, lengthen the spine, draw in the core, and you're going to exhale over to the side. And as you pause there, you're going to stretch the arms in the opposite direction. So the upper arm is stretching that way and the other arm is stretching that way. That deepens the stretch. And then draw in the core, in breath, lift up, come back to center, circle the arms the other way. And then exhale over to the side. Strong core, stretching those arms in opposite directions, deepening that stretch. And in breath, bring yourself back to center, circling arms the other way. This time we're going to hold that stretch. So exhaling, stretching the arms to where feels good for you, making sure that you're looking straight towards the front of your, just straight ahead, that's what I want to say. And just hold this position, use your core, use your stance, your feet, engage them, and just feel the strength you need in order to hold this position. And on the next inhale, come back up, remembering, of course, that if you've had enough and you want to move out of a position, you do so. Breathing in, lengthen spine, soften the shoulders, core engages, and we're leaning over to the opposite side now. And you're stretching those arms away. And as you stretch, hold that position, but breathe freely here. Keep the core engaged, keep the feet engaged, and hold it for as long as it's comfortable to you. And on your next inhale, you're going to lift and come back up. Circle the arms the other way. And we're just going to flow over to the side. And in breath, come up, just to release those muscles. And exhale to the side and come back up, bringing elbows to shoulder height and forwards. So I'm turning, just stay where you are. You're going to inhale and lift up, stretch the arms up and lift onto the toes. And then exhale, bring them down. Make sure the elbows and forearms are parallel. In breath, you're lifting, straightening arms if you can, or getting them straight, and then whoops, going back down. Excellent. And one more time, drawing in. See how long you can hold this position before you have to come down. Engage the core, spot on the wall ahead of you. Just find a position. And then releasing, coming back down. Okay, Drawing those arms to either side. You're going to inhale and then exhale, push away, extending the fingers, and then draw the fingers inwards. So I'd like you to make this finger movement strong. So don't just go, in and out. I'd like you to take your time as you stretch the arms out, uncurl the fingers, reaching, stretching, perhaps even widening the fingers. And then as you come back, you're pulling, curling those fingers inwards and pulling those elbows in. So exhale, straightening those fingers, knuckle by knuckle, and then pulling them back in as you breathe in. And one more time, straightening, and then just bringing it in. Beautiful. And release those arms. We're going to draw the hands in front of the body, and we're going to form that figure of 8 on the side. So just working, maybe taking a wider stance now. So allowing that figure of 8 to be fairly small to begin with. So really observe the space between the hands as you move and the direction that you're moving in. And then I'd like you to reverse that direction, go the opposite way. So go the opposite way. It may not look so much different, but it should feel different. And you should feel different muscles working in the arms. And now take that circle, that figure of 8, and make it bigger. Make a big circle to either side of the body. And take a wider stance. So you begin to shift your weight onto one leg and straighten the opposite leg. So that you're really leaning, toes are pointing forwards, and you're stretching inner thigh, outside of the straight leg, and taking that weight. Excellent. And now move down towards the floor to wherever is comfortable, still shifting weight from side to side. And if you need to go wider as you get closer to the floor, then feel free to do so. Just shifting and moving. Beautiful. And then letting the body fold forwards into forward bend as you continue tracing that figure of 8 on the floor. So deepening that leg stretch. And then gradually coming back up towards the middle of the body. Drawing feet closer and closer as you move upwards. And coming back into that small figure of 8 in front of the chest. Paying attention to the space in between your hands. Coming right to the center. Okay, we're going to draw those hands and place them on the back of our neck. So just over the back of the neck and the sort of lower shoulder muscles there. Just put them there. And we're going to draw the elbows towards each other in exhaling and inhaling, opening those elbows. And exhale, pull together. Inhale, open. And exhale, pull together. And inhale, open. And one more time, pull together. Inhale and open. And stretch those arms straight up, keeping that opening and pulling elbows backwards and down. And releasing those shoulders, just rolling them backwards, rolling them forwards. We're going to move into the neck movements. So just a simple one. You're going to be just drawing a smile across your chest, okay, with your chin. Yeah? So let's go. We're going to drop the head, keep the sternum lifted, the core engaged, and let the chin touch down towards the collarbones. And then keeping that position, just let the chin slide along the upper chest in the direction of one shoulder, and then breathe in, bring it back to the center, and exhaling towards the other shoulder. But the head is tilted forwards the entire time. So in breath brings you to center, and the out breath brings you towards a shoulder. So just do that a few times. I'm just looking up to watch you. And keep the sternum lifted, so you're not tilting your body forward, just the head. Okay, and once you've done evenly on both sides, come back to the center and slowly uncurl the neck vertebra, stacking one vertebra on top of the other. Breathing in, lengthen the back of the neck and then tilt the head over to one side. In breath draws the head to center and exhaling over to the other side. Inhale back to center, and as the head moves over to the side, stretch the opposite arm slightly away and down to the floor. Release it on the in-breath, out breath to the other side. So the body stays upright. It's just the arm and the neck that are moving. In-breath to center. Once more to each side. Exhaling and stretch. Inhaling, centering. Exhaling and stretch. And inhale and center. Roll the shoulders forwards. Roll the shoulders forwards. Okay, we're going to move into forward bend. So I'd like you to put your hands on your lower back area. And you're going to draw in the core, lengthen the spine, lift the sternum. Now pull the elbows towards each other so they're not floating out to either side. You're going to draw the belly in, take a back bend, and then hinge from the hips. Go straight leg forward bend till your body is parallel to the floor. Just feel the stretch, and then bend the knees, fold all the way into forward bend, and start uncurling, coming back into standing. Stacking your vertebra one at a time. Hands are still on the lower back if you can. Draw in the core, lengthen the spine, breathe in, and as you breathe out, take that back bend to where is good for your body. Exhale, straight legs till body is parallel to the floor. Elbows are pulling towards each other. Feel the stretch, and then bend the knees, fold forwards all the way down. And then uncurl, coming back into standing, one vertebra at a time. Lovely. One more time. Pull those elbows back, lift the sternum, pull in the core. Back bend if it goes, if it works. And then hinge, straight legs to begin with, anchor through the feet. Body becomes parallel to the floor. Pause, feel that stretch, and then let it go. Bend the knees, fold all the way down. And then uncurl, rising back up again and taking those hands all the way to the top. Arms parallel with the ears if you can, core is engaged. And we're going to keep the body in this position, but hinge from the hips till we are parallel to the floor. So we make that 90-degree angle with the thighs and trunk of the body. And then release down. And bend the knees and come into either a squatting position or a kneeling position. So whichever works best for you. I'm just going to adjust my camera. Hold on. Right. So either way, whether you're high up, kneeling high up, or whether you're squatting, you're going to do the same movement. I'd like you to take one leg out to the side, toes pointing forwards. Make sure your kneeling knee is directly under the hip, okay? And then you're going to lift those hands in front of the body. Right? And then lower the hands, bring that leg in, and take the other leg out to the side, toes pointing forwards, coming back into a kneeling or balancing position. Relaxing those shoulders, making sure the arms aren't lifted high, but are just slightly lower than shoulder height. And then bringing that leg in, Nostril in, and take the other leg out to the side. Coming back into that balance, play the piano or pretend. Yep, I can see some enthusiastic piano players here. And let's take that leg in, change legs, other leg out to the side. Again, coming into balance, playing that piano again if you can. I'd hate to hear the cacophony that's happening. And let's bring the leg in. And we're going to come into a standing on the feet position in forward bend. Just pausing for a moment there. Relaxing the head, relaxing the shoulders. And then bending and uncurling. Coming back up into a standing position, hands rising up the midline to the top of the head. Bring the palms together above the head. Push into the palms as you bring them down back to the sternum. Pressing thumbs into sternum, anchoring through the feet, and then releasing those hands. Coming into a nice upright position for a moment, adjusting the body, core engaged. Shoulders relaxed, grow tall, feet anchored into the floor. Become aware of how your body feels, what's shifted or changed, and just overall what's happened in the mind, emotions, and physical. Excellent. Have a drink of water, and then we're going to move towards the floor. Well, yeah. So to come to the floor, we're going to do a little maneuver. Okay. So come more towards one side of the back side of your mat. So more towards that side. Okay. And just grow tall, anchor down through those feet. Just find your center position. I'd like us to go into charity pose and then into crane. Okay, so I'll just demonstrate so that you know where you're going. Okay, so I'm going to just take hold of my elbows behind me. I'm going to be stepping forwards. And then the position is stable lower back and abdominals, and it's the upper back and chest that's lifting. And then you're bending forwards over the bent front leg. And then coming back up. Okay, we're going to do a few rounds of that one. And then from there, just so that I show you, from there, we're going to bring the hands onto the mat with a bent leg if you need to, while the other leg lifts up and the toes point down to the floor. And that's your crane position. And then we'll come down to runner. Okay, so that's where we're going to go. Okay, so let's stand at the back or at the side. Grow tall, center yourself. Become aware of the whole body. Make sure the shoulders are soft, that your breathing is even. And make sure that you have a good stance with the feet. And when you step forward with your leg, keep that distance between the feet. So don't let them pull one behind the other. Keep that wide stance when you put your feet forward, when you step forwards. Okay, so stepping forwards, not too wide, not too narrow. Okay, you're going to take your elbows with your hands, put it behind your back. Draw in the core. You are lifting the sternum and then taking a slight back bend, but it's more of a pushing the chest upwards, looking upwards, pulling the elbows back, and then bending the front knee, pull from the hips and flow down towards the floor or wherever is comfortable for you. Let your head hang for a moment, and then push through both feet and uncurl the spine, straightening that front leg, drawing in the core, and lifting the sternum, pulling the elbows back behind you. If you're wobbling, take that front foot, walk it out to the side. And then exhale, bend the front knee, forward bend, pouring your head and body forwards and down. And then pull in the core, push through that front leg, uncurling the spine once more, keeping core strongly engaged. Lift the sternum, pull the elbows back. And then exhale, forward bend, bend the front knee. Folding down into your forward bend, pause there for a moment. And then release the arms down towards the floor in front of your front leg. Yeah. And then take the weight onto the front leg, lift the back leg up so you're on one leg and two hands. The back leg is up, the foot is flexed, it's pointing down to the floor. Relax the head, hold it, and then bend your standing knee, put your back foot on the floor in that wide stance, and bring the knee down to the mat. Raise the body and arms to shoulder height. Okay. The arm of the back leg, that arm is going to lift up to the ceiling and pause there. So you should have your front leg and the opposite arm up above, okay? So anchor down through the front leg, front foot. Keep the knee of the front knee not falling in, but moving rather straight up and out, okay? Open the body, twist to the back, bringing that upper arm down in line with your back leg. So one arm is facing the back of the room, the other arm, the front of the room, and your front knee is staying straight above the ankle. You're looking towards your backhand, holding the position, cores engaged, smiling, and then let the in-breath lift the back arm back up, rotate the body forwards, and bringing that arm down. And bring your hand down to the floor, drawing both knees together. So we're going to move into cat-cow. So from this position, tuck the tailbone under, round the spine, chin to throat, and inhale, lift the tail, hollow the back, look forwards. And exhale, into cat, push away from the mat with hands and knees. Inhale, hollow, look up. And do that a few more times, exhaling. Inhale, hollow into cow, exhale, into cat, inhale, into cow, and then come into neutral. You're now stepping the other foot forwards. You're tucking the toes under, and you're lifting onto both feet. You're going to step both feet, the back foot forwards, and uncurl into standing, rising up the midline, and releasing those arms down to your sides. Okay. We're going to, from this position, make sure you've got a wide stance again. You're going to take hold of the elbows behind you, and the leg that was in front is now stepping back. So you should have the other leg in front. Make sure you're not walking the tightrope. Adjust the feet so they are hip width apart. Draw in the core, lengthen the spine, and lift the sternum, pull the elbows back, look upwards into that upper back bend. Hinge from the hips, bend the front knee, folding forwards into a forward bend, and just pause there, relaxing the head and the shoulders. Engage the core, push through that front leg, uncurling the spine back into standing. Core stays strong, lift the sternum, pull the elbows back. And then exhale, hinging from the hips, pouring forwards and down over that bent leg. Relax for a moment, holding position, anchoring through the feet. Drawing the core one more time, uncurling. Bringing the body back into upright, pulling elbows back, strong core, back, upper back bend. And then hinge from the hips, forwards bend, forward bend. Bending that front knee, taking the weight onto the front leg, letting the arms come down to the mat. And you're going to lift the back leg, flex the back foot, pointing it down to the floor. So you're on your standing leg and two hands. Bend that front leg, place the back foot on the floor and bring the back knee to the mat. Bringing the body into upright with the arms forwards. So on the in-breath, you're going to take the arm of the back leg, you're lifting it straight up to the ceiling. So I'm going to be turning away from you now, yeah? But you're going to go on an exhale, open, twist to the back of the room. Arm is at shoulder level, one arm forwards, one arm back, and the front knee anchoring over the ankle. So not drifting, the gaze is to the back of the room. Core's engaged, shoulders are relaxed. You're just holding this position, looking at the back arm, feeling how strong you need to be in order to be here, how easy or difficult it is. Next inhale, bring the arms straight up, rotate the body forwards, exhale that arm parallel, bring it to the floor, stepping that front leg back onto hands and knees, moving back into cat-cow. So hollowing as you inhale and rounding the back as you exhale. Now we move into cow and into cat. And a couple more rounds. Exhaling into cat. Inhale into cow. And coming into neutral when you're ready. Sinking those hips back to the heels. Stretching arms forwards. And as you stretch the arms forwards, you can get a nice length through the arms, spread the fingers, and once you can't go anymore, start pushing backwards with your hands so your tailbone sinks towards the heels. And you deepen that stretch. And then relax the body. If you need to rest on your forearms, one fist on top of the other, forehead on the hands, then do that. And if you can access full child pose, with the forehead on the floor and arms down to either side of the legs, then do that. But just find the position that works for you. And just take a few deep breaths here, feeling an expansion through the lower back and a softening in the lower back as you exhale. Feeling the whole of the back softening and opening, and the whole body calming down. Releasing that now, coming up onto all fours, and coming into a seated position. If you need a drink of water, feel free to grab one, okay? Okay, so coming into a seated position that's comfortable, whether your legs are extended or bent knees with feet on the floor, it doesn't matter. You just want to be comfortable. Perhaps seated on a blanket or block if you have one, pile of books if you need to. We're going to work with alternate nostril breathing just for 5 minutes or so. So I'd like you to take your right fist and take your right elbow with your left hand and draw it into the center of the chest, holding it in place, giving it a bit of support. Second finger, middle finger comes together between the eyebrows, right thumb on right nostril, ring finger on left nostril. Closing off the left side, you're breathing up the right side, and then closing right side, breathing out the left side. You're using your normal, natural breath. You're not trying to make it deeper or shallower. And you're alternating from one side to the other side. And as you exhale out one side, feel as though you are emptying that side of stresses and strains. And then when you exhale the opposite side, feel as though that side is emptying of all the tightness, stresses, and strains. Feeling each side of the body softening and releasing. Now with each in-breath, imagine you're bringing a sense of spaciousness into that side of the body, the whole of that side, filling with a lightness, a feeling of spaciousness and lightness. And again, when you breathe in on the other side again, try to generate that experience of lightness, of ease, of spaciousness, filling that side of the body. Making this round your last one and completing the breathing practice, exhaling out of the left nostril. Once completed, allowing the hands to sink into the lap and just scanning your body for any changes, any insights, what your experience was. And then take yourself gently down to your mat into your relaxation position, making sure that you're warm enough with socks or blankets or jumpers. And just making yourself as comfortable as is possible, checking in with the neck and the upper back and shoulders, adjusting the body, taking the time to adjust the body, the lower back, the legs, until the entire body feels really comfortable. And just begin to notice as you lie there how the body feels lying down on the floor now. And noticing different areas of the back, different areas of the body speaking to you or singing to you. And just feel into what it feels like to lie down tonight. Is it a sense of, oh, thank goodness I'm lying down, this feels so good? Or is there a sense of rush, oh, I should be doing the next thing? What are those thoughts, sensations flowing through the body? Pay attention now to the breath, observing that breath flow in and out. And keep following it. If the mind drifts, just stay following the breath. And now pay attention to the back of the body once more. And notice whether the connection between the back of the body and the floor has shifted and changed. Perhaps there's more softness in the muscles, in the bones. Perhaps there's a deeper connection between the entire back of the body and the floor. Simply by lying down and focusing on the breath. Quite effortlessly, the whole of the body starts softening and releasing. Now pay attention once more to the breath moving easily and freely in and out of the nose. Become aware of the sensation of the breath on the inside of the nostrils. Perhaps you can sense or feel the little hairs on the inside of the nose moving in rhythm to the breath. The coolness of the inhalation, the warmth of the exhalation. And now imagine that you are breathing once more, alternate nostril breathing, but without the hands, just lying as you are, focusing on the right nostril and the sensations up the right nostril as you breathe in, crossing over at the eyebrow center, feeling the sensations in the left nostril as you breathe out. And then feeling the sensations of the in-breath on through that left nostril, crossing over at the eyebrow center and focusing on the sensations as you breathe out of the right nostril. And continuing in this manner. Traveling and alternating between the nostrils as you continue to focus on the breath. And if the mind wanders, draw it back to the practice. And then breathing out the right nostril, releasing that focus and breathing. Breathe normally. Become aware of the whole body. Become aware of the back of the body and what's changed, how it's shifted. Become even more comfortable or not on the floor. Scan the whole body, noticing how heavy it feels, how totally still it is. The whole body resting in stillness. Perhaps the mind resting in stillness. Now once more, focus on the breathing and drawing that breath all the way down into the belly. Experience the belly button rising on the in-breath and drawing back down towards the floor on the out-breath. Slightly exaggerating that movement, each in-breath really expanding the belly, pushing it upwards towards the ceiling, and then really contracting the belly as you exhale. Draw it down towards the floor. So you start working and awakening those tummy muscles, pulling them in on the exhale, expanding the belly, stretching the muscles on the inhale. And feel a gentle heat radiating from that abdominal area as you continue in this motion. This is exaggerated breathing. And then let your whole body begin to awaken with those deeper breaths. Begin to move those fingers and move those toes. Feeling the breath, filling the whole body with a sense of expansion, a sense of lightness, a sense of spaciousness. And each breath drawing in energy, vitality, and strength. Squeezing those fingers into fists, rotating those feet at the ankles. Perhaps beginning on the next in-breath to stretch and yawn. Just drawing the body into wakefulness. Maybe drawing those knees into the chest to release the lower back area. Doing whatever it takes to bring you back into this present moment. And then coming into a seated position whenever you're ready. Drawing those hands together. Just noticing how smooth the palms are. I was just talking to some other students yesterday saying it's just amazing how the hands become smoother, the palms. And then tap the head gently with your fingers, just tapping it awake. Switching onto the arms, the chest, the belly, the back. Drawing the whole body back into